Today I'm filming a get ready with me video for this face here. I'm off to the Ballet in Edinburgh tonight for a blogger event, which I'm so excited about. I think it's going to be really lovely. And I just thought, after watching my friend Lynn's video the other day, she did a get ready with me Chatty video for getting ready for McBusted, which we went to last week, which was just so good. And so I thought that I would do, I enjoyed that so much that I thought that I would do a Chatty get ready with me for going to the Ballet. So this is the makeup that I ended up wearing. It is pretty much the same as, I always say I'm going to do something different and then I kind of don't. It's pretty much the face that I usually wear, apart from the fact that my lips are a little bit bolder than usual. And so I really hope that you enjoy this and that I don't ramble on for too long. I probably do. But yeah, I hope that you enjoy this, and I'll just get started with the makeup. So I haven't really given a great deal of thought to what I'm actually going to do with my face today. I know that I kind of know what I want to do with my skin, but in terms of eyes and lips I've got a couple of options, so I've not fully decided yet. But yeah, I'm just going to get started with the base because I hate sitting here with no makeup on. So I'm just going to pin back, or pull back my fringe for a minute and look delightful for you all. So yeah, I'm going to get started with my primer, and my primer of choice is the Romeo Fix and Perfect Pro Plus. Pro Plus? That's not a thing. Fix and Perfect Pro, or Fix and Perfect Pro. And I just put like a sort of dollop of that on the back of my hand, and I just work that into my skin with my fingertips. And I always use a primer. I went through a phase sort of years ago of using primer, and then I kind of stopped doing it, and then about 2 years ago, or like 18 months ago, I started using a primer again, and I just realised that I just can't go without it now. It just makes such a difference to my makeup. Not only how long my makeup lasts, but how my makeup actually feels when I put it on. That's the skin all primed. I'm using a lot of Rimmel products today by sheer accident, but the foundation that I'm using at the moment is the Match Perfection, and this is in the shade Light Porcelain, so it's like a really super light shade, but it works for my skin because I'm very pasty. So I just put some on the back of my hand, and again, I'm really sorry about the lighting, by the way. There's not really much that I can do about the sun or clouds. So I tend to just apply this with my fingertips. I'll occasionally use my Real Techniques Expert face brush, but I prefer putting foundation on with my fingers, to be perfectly honest. If it's maybe a slightly heavier one, I'll blend it with the brush, but for me I just feel like I get a much more natural kind of coverage when I apply it with my fingers, and I feel like I can really work the product into my skin. So yeah, I like to kind of just work that in to the skin with my fingertips. And just blend it all in. And what's nice about this foundation is I feel like you can kind of double it up, you can do a couple of layers and see how you feel about it. I don't tend to use a massive amount on my forehead because my fringe covers that, so I just make sure that I've put the foundation over it so that there's some there, and as I say, I just keep kind of working it over any areas that I feel like I get quite a bit of redness, just across my nose and the fronts of my cheeks there. So I like to kind of double it up. I think that will do for my foundation, and I'm then going to move on to concealer. So for blemishes, I'm using my good old collection Less Than Perfection concealer, and I like to just again blend that in to my skin with my fingertips. And this is just this is one of these cult products that everyone knows about and everyone talks about, but it really is absolutely fantastic at dealing with blemishes, redness. It just evens out your skin really nicely, and it's not too heavy either. I also like to put a little streak of it down my nose and then some on my brow bone. Wow, I look silly. Just because I get quite a bit of redness on my brow bone, and then I sort of blend that over my eyelids as my eyeshadow primer, because it's a really good one for just evening out the skin on your eyelids, and it does hold your eyeshadow in place, so I really like that. Blending that concealer across that little area of redness just there, and then down my nose. What I usually do with the concealer on my nose actually is I use a big brush. I apologise for the state of this because it's got concealer on it already, and it really, I've not washed it in like a couple of weeks, which is really bad. But I just tend to blend that in a little bit extra just with the brush. And then for under eye concealer, I'm using the Match Perfection from Rimmel again, just by sheer coincidence. There's not a massive amount left in this actually, but I really like this concealer. It's really nice and brightening, and it just gives a nice effect under the eyes. So I tend to kind of put it on in like a little triangular kind of movement like that, and then pull a little bit extra just down here, because it's got that nice kind of like brightening effect. And I start to blend it in with this big brush. This is an e.l.f. flat foundation brush, by the way, if anyone was wondering. Or flat angled foundation brush. And then go over it just with my fingertips. Just my ring finger, and just add a little bit of extra kind of blending. So I'm going to unclip my fringe now, because I hate having my fringe clipped back. It just doesn't look like me, it looks so strange. And I feel so much better once I've got it back down. Yay, I look like me again. Side note, I don't do anything to my eyebrows because they're under my fringe, and I'm lazy, and they're quite dark anyway, so I just leave them to their own devices. So now that we have evened out my entire face, I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put some colour back into it, because you know, I look like a ghost. I'm gonna use the Bourjois Bronzing Primer. I love this, it's really nice. And basically, what I'm gonna do with this is just tap a tiny bit of it. I mean, that looks like a lot. It's showing up so dark on camera, but I just tend to tap it kind of just across my cheekbone kind of area, and then using my Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, I just blend that in on my cheek and further up the sort of cheekbone area, and that just puts a little bit of colour back into my face, because once you've evened it all out with the foundation and concealer, it sort of has no colour left in it. So I like to just get some colour back into my complexion with that. So sticking with the base, I'm going to go in with my blusher, and this is a cream blusher. It's the Dream Touch blush in number 2. I think it's called Apricot, and it's from Maybelline. So this is just a really lovely, natural, neutrally kind of blush, and I just pat that on with my finger, just kind of over where that I've placed that bronzer, but also just bringing it a little bit further forward onto the cheek, and I just work that in with my fingers. So to finish off the base situation, I'm going to use a highlighter. This is the Vivo Cream Highlighter. So I basically just get a little bit, that looks like a lot, but it's just like a little thin layer on my fingertip, and I just get it on sort of 2 fingers, and then pat it on the top of my cheek, just like so. I'm going to go in with my powder, and my powder of choice is the Rimmel Stay Matte, and just like a big kabuki brush. Swirl that in, and then just sort of dot that on my face. I sort of powder everywhere. I know that some people don't bother powdering like their cheeks, especially if they want to keep them kind of like dewy, but I like to keep everything in place for the whole night, and I don't want it to move, so I set my concealer under my eyes back on itself so that it doesn't crease, just like that. And then with the rest of it, it's more just like a kind of dabbing motion. Everything powdered into place, but now I'm going to go over the cream products that I've put in with powder versions, because to go over the bronzer, I'm going to go with the Bourjois chocolate little bronzer powder thing, and this is a Real Techniques blusher brush. So yeah, I squashed the brush so it's a little bit flatter, and then slightly suck in my cheeks and just pull that across on both sides. So I'm going to set the cream blusher. I know it's been set with powder, but just, you know, to intensify it. This is the Majolica Majorca Puff to Cheek in Peach Macaroon, which is my favourite blusher. And this is just a nondescript like stippling brush, or dual fibre kind of stippling brush. And I'm just going to smile and just work that onto my cheeks. So final step for the face is to just set my highlight, and I'm going to do that with this e.l.f. Baked Blush in the shade whatever, I can't remember what it's called, something pink. but it's just a really nice sort of highlighter. And this is a Bdellium contour brush, and so I just take a little bit of that over the tops of my cheeks. So that is my base face situation done and dealt with. Now I'm going to move on to eyes, and I'm going to start my eye makeup with the Maybelline Colour Tattoo 24 Hour Cream Eyeshadow in the shade Permanent Taupe. It's just so pretty, it's lovely. So again, I just use my fingertips for this, get a little bit on my ring finger and just work that on to my eyelid. So we blend that across and get everything nice and smoothed out and even. And I'm just going to take my pinky and take a teeny bit more of that, and I'm just going to pull that just on the outer corner, underside of my eye, like that, because we're going to put some powder there as well. So for eyeshadow, keeping things nice and affordable, this is just the Vivo palette. This is the Vivo Unprotected palette, and I love this. I use this all the time. I went first with this colour, you can see it here up in the top corner, and just, this is a Bdellium 778 brush. I really like this. So I'm just going to close my eye and just gently sort of blend that right the way across the eyelid. I should maybe have zoomed in for this actually, but oh well, we've started now. I'm going to switch to Eek. This is a Gouache pencil brush. I'm just going to take that same eyeshadow and just run it underneath the eye, on both eyes. To finish off the eyes, I'm not going to do anything too crazy with the eyes because I think I've decided to do a bold lip, maybe shock horror. So I am going to take this darker shade down here, just this one there, near the bottom. And this is a Bdellium 787 blending brush. I love this. So I'm just going to place that in the outer corner of my eye, crease kind of area, and just start to blend that through. I really like all these eyeshadows, and especially there's like a couple in particular, like that one you can see like I've hit pan ages ago in that. It's such a pretty highlight colour. I'm going to use it in a minute actually. But it's really lovely. So that is, let me see, are we looking relatively even? Yeah, I think that's okay. So I think, not quite happy with the eyes yet. I want to go back in with, that's the original Bdellium brush that I used, and I'm going to use this super bright gold eyeshadow here. I'm just going to take a tiny bit of it, and I'm just going to look back. Oh, this lighting is doing my head in. The sun is like just not wanting to behave. But yeah, I'm just going to just tip my head back slightly and just place that gold eyeshadow just there, just to give it a bit of a shine. Next is eyeliner, and there's no big surprise here. This is the L'Oreal Super Liner, which is my fave. So I was doing my eyeliner there, and I just glanced, and I'd like zoomed in to show you because I'd started to do it without zooming in, and then I zoomed in to show you. I'm trying to find it because I've sat it down. It doesn't really matter, you know what it is. This one. And I kind of was like concentrating in the mirror and like sort of looking at the mirror, and then I looked at the screen and I was like, this looks a little bit blurry. And I've just watched back the footage, and the entire footage of me doing my eyeliner is really blurry because I thought that I'd focused it properly, but I must have moved and it's not in focus, so that's a bit of a pain. But yeah, this is what my eyeliner looks like. It's just kind of like my typical winged thing that I do with this. I've put eyeliner on in videos before, so I'm sure, you know, if anyone has a desperate urge to watch me put on eyeliner, then you can see it elsewhere. So that's that. Now I'm going to move on to mascara. I have lost my eyelash curlers for quite a while, and I need to buy a new set, and I just haven't got around to it. But the mascara that I'm trying out at the moment is the No. 7 Lash Impact Intense Volume Control Mascara, and it's in this pretty red sparkly tube. And I quite like it so far. I've only used it a couple of times, but it seems quite nice. It's got a nice like chunky wand, and the consistency of the product feels really nice. So yeah, I'm just going to go in with a couple of coats of that. Yeah, as I started to ramble on about earlier on, I've never been to the Ballet before, and I really am looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really nice. I'm going with quite a few of my blogger friends, Lynn, who I mentioned earlier on. Did I mention Lynn? I feel like I mentioned Lynn for some reason, something to do with the tutorial. She did a Chatty get ready with me video the other day, which is what inspired me to do this. So yes, I think that will do for now. I definitely want to define my lower lash line a little bit more, so I'm going to go in with this is a, I don't know, this is just like a nondescript like angled brush. Please say that I'm in focus. I feel like I slightly am not. Oh, who knows. But yeah, this, I'm just going back in with my Vivo palette and that darker shade down the bottom. And I'm just going to press that into my lower lashes. Like literally just press it right into that lower lash line and then give it a little bit of a blend. Like so. And finally for the eyes, I'm going to go back in with that, just this Revlon brush and that highlightery peachy shade here. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of that right in the inner corner of my eyes to brighten them up just a little bit. I also have the Bourjois Rouge Edition Velvet liquid lipstick in Peach Club, which was what I was going to use, and I think it is what I'm going to use. I'm just going to go for it. Lovely. So I've got a little bit of lip balm on just because my lips are really dry at the moment, so I like to kind of like keep them moisturised, but you don't have to do that. I don't know why I'm talking like this is a tutorial when it's a get ready with me. Yeah. Shut up there so that I don't end up like smudging it all. So I don't really often wear like a bold lip, but this is such a pretty colour that I just absolutely love it. It's just such a nice product. And so that is that. So I think that that is it. I'm going to zoom you in now so that you can see all of this a little bit closer up. And the eyes are just kind of a little bit smoky, a little bit lined, loads of mascara, and yeah. So that's it. So that's it for my first kind of Chatty get ready with me video. Thank you to Lynn for inspiring me to do this, because I watched your video the other day and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I hope that you liked that. I'm so looking forward to going to the ballet tonight, and I'll probably film a video maybe chatting about that, because I've been to a couple of really fun things recently. I went to McBusted last week, and I'm going to the ballet tonight and a couple of other things, and so I might film just like a Chatty, here's what I've been up to video at some point in the next couple of weeks, and tell you how the ballet was. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you're all well, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye! This is a bright yellow one, which I just think is really nice for spring, summertime. It's super, super bright, just goes on so quickly and easily with a little